Okay, Ruben, there's your cylinder head. That's a 1977/78 integral head or integrated head for a monojet. Obviously, you're looking at the bottom of it. You can see where all the exhausts go. You can see this would be part of the exhaust, or would bolt to the exhaust. Okay, and you would have that heat riser flapper and whatever it is, because on a 6-cylinder engine, the intake hangs off the side, and in the winter you need to warm it to prevent hesitation and bogging, and just for drivability concerns. Now, as you can see, it is not connected to the exhaust manifold, but we could see right out with the carburetor bolts. So that tells me there's a gasket right here. Okay, that should be your EGR. One of these. That's a bolt. That's probably your EGR. Okay, now, the reason I say that is, okay, you can see right where the intake runners are. The reason I say that is I remember way back when, a couple of years ago, you were putzing with some of these bolts trying to get the exhaust off because you wanted to take the engine out. I'm wondering if you have a vacuum leak in this gasket right here. Not on the bottom side where you have we know you have an exhaust leak here. Okay, but I thought that was the pipe hook to it, but I'm not sure. I only go by what what you've said. I remember you trying to take bolts out and you couldn't get them out. I remember all that. And then we decided to leave the engine in. I'm wondering, we know you've had an exhaust leak in this area. I'm wondering if now there's got to be some kind of plate between it, and I know you have that bimetallic spring and the what the hell do they call that? Heat diverter valve or exhaust diverter valve. That closes down to try and restrict the exhaust to put a little heat up into the intake. But I'm wondering if the top part here doesn't have a leak, like the gasket finally sucked in, and that's your massive leak. Because for what I'm seeing on the cylinder heads, I had bought a van with one of these motors in there. The van was only 4 years old at the time, to show you how long ago we're talking, and they had toasted the head, and it didn't run anything like yours, if I'm not mistaken. It cracks in the cylinders. I thought it cracked it from the cylinder into the combustion, into the coolant. That's what I thought it did. I didn't think it was anything like that, which makes it run like crap because it's burning coolant and the cylinders are dead. Okay, you have a massive vacuum leak, so I want you to check here, which obviously when you flip this in the right direction from here to here is like almost impossible. But we're gonna have to figure out a way for you to try and either spray something there without you creating a fireball, you getting hurt, burning down your house, or anything to that effect. But I'm beginning to wonder. Now, obviously, they don't show it here, but I've seen the picture. I'm going to find the picture of what this bolts to. Hold on. Okay, this picture is slightly newer. The shape of this is different. And instead of having one exhaust port and a divided port, they made that a bigger one. But it's basically the same thing. This is an integral head with the head removed, and when you take the head off, you got this big ugly exhaust looking manifold thing hanging below. Okay, there's the little diverter. But now picture it, there has to be some kind of plate blocking this. Okay, and if it leaks below the plate, you got an exhaust leak. There's where EGR goes back up in the intake manifold. If it leaks above it, you got a massive intake vacuum leak. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the cylinder head off and that manifold cluster still staying there, which I can only imagine how hard it must be to get these bolts out. I guess it looks like they come from the top, I think. I don't even know. Yeah, it looks like it's sure, but you got to see. Well, this is where I want you to check, right around here. Okay, I'd like to see you check here. And this one has a dual exhaust. This one's a couple of years later. I seen the head that matches that. that actually has a dual port on it. It's not a monojet, but it's still the same principle. So I think it's a vacuum leak, Ruben. Like I said, since you've been posting videos on the car for all those years, you've always had an exhaust leak up front. I know you played with the bolts here. I know you only have a single pipe. I'm just curious if any of this other stuff is bad at this point. So I'm not giving into the cracked head thing yet, especially for the fact that you haven't really driven the car to crack it. I know all it takes is a very minute engine overheat and they just split like there's no tomorrow. Everything else here is the same. So what a lot of people do is they take off the integrated, I call them integral, integrated head and this manifold cluster, and they just put on the head with the intake and exhaust hook to the side, and they call it done. They say it's a direct fit minus a little bit of throttle linkage change. So hopefully that helps a little bit, Ruben. Like I said, I want to get up there. I just can't get up there now. And by the time I'm going to be able to get up there, I'd like to see you driving the car. So let me know, Ruben. Let me know when you're out there. We'll see if we can come up with a plan that we can figure this out.